Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So in last episode, we had the trade deadline in the rest of the season simulation. We did make one trade at the deadline, acquiring Antoine Vermette from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Derek Ryan and a 5th round pick, which we got from Chicago in the Scott Darling trade. So we end up making the playoffs with a nice record of 44, 28, and 10. Unfortunately, teams like Pittsburgh and Washington crept back into the playoff picture, which I did not want to have happen because Pittsburgh obviously is a dynamite team, and that's who we first round of the playoffs. So I showed you guys their lines in last episode, but once again, it's pretty much the same as it is now in real life, I think. So Pittsburgh, so as you can see, Hornquist, Crosby, Kessel. Obviously, Crosby and Kessel are dangerous. And you got Gensel with Malkin and Sheary, Hagelin, Rust, and Kuhnhackl, Reeves, Shahan, and Sprong. So basically their center core is really strong, but then their wing after Kessel and Hornquist is really weak because even though Gensel's an 83, he could be considered, I guess, a second liner. But the rest of the team, like Sheary, 81, even though he's listed as a second liner, is not really that good. Like, I think we have better wingers than they do on our top 6, potentially. Well, obviously with Letang being that number 1 guy. And then Schultz, Cole, Dumoulin. So they're well-rounded. And then in terms of goaltending, obviously, they have Matt Murray, who's really good. And then for some reason, Tristan Jarry is their starting goaltender right now. He'll probably change once we go up against them. But if that is the case, then we might be able to beat them. And in scratch, they have just defensemen as their depth. So if Ep.4 gets injured, they'll have to put in someone like Zach Trotman, or they'll have to call somebody up. So hopefully we could take out one of their big guys, and then they have no good replacements. So what happens here in the first round of the playoffs in year number 1. This is, I think the first series I've had where I've actually had to play Pittsburgh in the playoffs, other than my New York Islanders one, which was way back at the start of NHL 17. So let's get into it. Game number 1, we got home ice in this series. Let's see if we can get it done. If there's any problems, I'll make some line changes. So first period, and wow, okay, Pittsburgh's offense comes out. That's not good. Kruger opens the scoring for us, but then Letang, Crosby, and Sheary answer right back. 3 goals on 8 shots. Not a good performance for Mrazek so far. Hopefully he bounces back in the second and third period. And okay, that was a bit of a bounce back period, but still we are down by 2 goals. We need to have a good third period here. We're out shooting them by 3 shots, yet we're down by 2 goals. Come on, boys, let's get 2 goals here. I might make line changes right off the get-go, because maybe the team's just, taking a slack. A lot of the team isn't, playoff experience-wise. On our team, Pittsburgh has tons of experience, obviously, because they've won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Schultz makes it 4-1, and that is going to be the final. So we strike first, but then we just slack. So Kruger from Wingles and Slavin. Okay, so that wasn't a good defensive game. It wasn't a good offensive game. I think I'm already going to make some line changes just because I want us to answer back. At least get 1 win on home ice. So we do have some players actually with a decent amount of experience, because Teravainen, I don't know if he was a part of the Chicago team that went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 14-15. And then you got also Jordan Stahl, who won a Stanley Cup with Pittsburgh. Antoine Vermette went to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Anaheim Ducks in 2007. So a lot of this team actually does have experience, but then there's other guys like Jeff Skinner, who's barely played in the playoffs, I think, or he's never played a playoff game in his career, that sort of thing. So let's put Stahl up back to the top line. Rask is actually listed as the second line now, so we'll put him on the second line still. Williams has got tons of experience, actually. Mr. Game 7, hopefully he comes through for us. Other than that, defensively, who was minus in that first game? The second pairing. Maybe I'll change Pesci. Yeah, I'll change Pesci and Slavin just for this one game at least. just to see if it changes anything. Hopefully that doesn't screw up with ice time. So let's see. Sim 2 game number 2. Hopefully we could take at least this game on home ice and tie the series going back to Pittsburgh. And then who knows, maybe we're a better road team than a home team. I think that was actually the case when I checked the standings and stuff like that in the last episode. I don't remember because it was a couple days ago. So here we go, game number 2. Let's see if we could get it done here. First period, and it's a scoreless first period, so I like that a lot better than being down 3-1. Shots are 9-6 in favor of the Pens, but nobody has broken the ice just yet. Second period, and there you go, boys. 2-0 Carolina. Skinner and Tommy Wingles. Let's see if we could just lock it down here in the third period. Power play, there you go, Jeff Skinner. Okay, so we might actually just win this game and tie the series going back to Pittsburgh, which is a great sign. Hopefully we can knock these guys off. They're two-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Because we don't want them to three-peat. And we are going to take game 2 by a score of 3-0. So that was a much better game. Really good defensive effort, and we got 3 goals. So Skinner from Stahl and Lindholm, Wingles from Teravainen and Falk, and Skinner from Aho and Hannafin. So Skinner with 2 goals in that game. Probably the first star, I'd assume. Second star, okay. Mrazek made 28 saves in that victory. We got to give credit to him too. Hopefully he could carry us to a Stanley Cup somehow. Okay, so let's just hop right into game number 3. See if it can continue going into Pittsburgh. I think this arena is called the PPG Paints Arena. I don't know for sure, but we're in Pittsburgh anyways. First period, and it is a 1-1 game. So Brock McGinn manages to score on Matt Murray, but Phil Kessel answers back for the Pens. We're outshooting them 13-7. Second period, and there you go. We got the lead. Brett Pesce. Nice. Okay, and we need an insurance marker, though, for sure. I know, because the Pens like to come back always. So let's see if we could get an insurance marker here early in the third period. That would be huge. We kill off a penalty. Almost halfway through the third period. They're out shooting us, and Evgeny Malkin's going to tie the game at 2. Come on, boys. Let's get a power play goal here. Nope. Last 5 minutes. And are we going to OT? Yes, we're going to overtime for the first time in this series. 32-25 in favor of the Pens. But Mrazek is holding us in there. Come on, boys, let's get that goal. Oh, and the Pens are going to score. And it's Riley Sheahan, the guy that rarely scores in a season, at least with Detroit. Damn, that's bullshit. Anyways, McGinn from Kruger and Fleury. And then Pesce from Teravainen and Aho. So I don't think I'm going to make any line changes for the next game because we honestly could have tied the series or taken a series lead there. I think we can still tie the series up here in game number 4. But if we lose this game, then I will probably have to make some more line changes again just to try and get us back in the series. So here we go, game number 4, still in Pittsburgh. Let's see if we could get this series tied up. First period, there you go, guys, taking the lead. Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams coming through. Second period, there you go. 2-1 lead again, but they're trying to claw back in it somehow. So Brock McGinn's got another goal. Don't know how he's scoring as a 75, but okay. Shots are 21-18 in favor of the Pens. Third period underway. Power play, come on guys, get an insurance marker, and we can't get it done. And once again, the Pens are going to come back here in the third period and tie the game up. As Jake Gensel gets them on the board. And we're being outshot still. Come on, boys. Don't want to go to an overtime situation again. And we are going to overtime. The Pens, let's get overtime underway. Come on, boys. We got to get this goal this time. Power play, we got to end it here. There you go, and we have tied the series going back home, which is huge. Jeff Skinner with his third of the playoffs, I think, already. Nicely done, guys. So Williams from Stempniak, McGinn from Wingles and Kruger, and Skinner from Stahl and Aho. So that was a pretty solid game. Hopefully we could play good in Carolina now. So Mrazek gets first star again, Skinner and Malkin the third. So Crosby's been nowhere actually in this series so far. I don't know if he's picked up any points. I didn't really look at the Pittsburgh player stats, but I don't think he's picked up much points. And we have a 2-2 series. Let's just see who's leading us currently in points. Probably Skinner, I'd assume. Yes, Skinner has 3 goals in 4 games. I'll check Pittsburgh's stats also after the series just because I want to see if Crosby was anywhere, because I don't think I've seen Crosby have a single point yet. I know he hasn't scored yet, so hopefully he doesn't score in one of these next couple games. So here we go, the big game, game number 5. Can we take a series lead and have a chance to take the series in Pittsburgh? First period, wow, 4-1. Where did this offense all of a sudden come from? Jordan Staal makes it 1-0. Teravainen makes it 2-0. Falk makes it 3-0, but then Hagelin makes it 3-1. And a late goal from Jeff Skinner makes it 4-1. Second period, and it is 4-2 now as Hornquist pulls them within 2, but we are still leading by 2 goals. Let's just get an insurance marker just in case, and then we should have this game in the bag. There you go. Sebastian Aho answers. Jerry's in net now, actually. So we managed to get Matt Murray pulled. Oh no, don't do this type of weird simulation thing. Hagelin and Gensel pulled them back within 1 again. Last 5 minutes of the third period here. Come on, boys. Lock it down, lock it down, lock it down. There you go. Nice penalty kill. And we are going to take the game by a score of 5-4. So the Penguins give us a bit of a run for their money right at the end. But we managed to take it and have our first series lead, I think. Yeah, our first lead of the series. So Jordan Staal from Fleury and Aho, Teravainen from Aho and Staal, Falk from Stempniak and Williams, Skinner from Lindholm, Aho from Rask and Teravainen. So it seems like the top 6 is playing really well, which is good. So Sebastian Aho gets first star, Staal the second star, and Hagelin the third. Okay, can we actually take a series against the Pens? That's the question. We're going back to Pittsburgh. Last 2 games, actually, we were in Pittsburgh. Both of those went to overtime, so this could be a close game, potentially. Who's leading us in points now still? Probably Skinner, unless Aho somehow came through. Yep, Aho has 6 points in 5 games. Even though I think he's a sniper, he has more assists and goals. Interesting. Okay, so let's get into Game 6. Can we end the Pittsburgh Penguins' back-to-back Stanley Cup champion status, I guess you could say? Here you go. First period, and it is scoreless. Okay, I like that. Shots are 14-12, but nobody has been able to solve the goaltenders yet, so it's not an offensive game like last game was. Second period, and it is 1-1 going into the third, so Justin Williams and Patrick Hornquist. Shots are 27-19 already for us, and we haven't even started the third period yet. Can we get an not an equalizer, one to get us the lead? There you go, Jeff Skinner, and it's 2-1 for your Carolina Hurricanes. Last 10 minutes here, the third period here, and we have a 2-1 lead. Come on, boys, lock it down. Get an insurance marker here. Last 5 minutes. Are the Carolina Hurricanes headed to the second round? Yes, they are. The Carolina Hurricanes have ended the Pittsburgh Penguins' back-to-back Stanley Cup champion status and are headed off to the second round for the first time. And I think probably since they went to the Stanley Cup Finals, unless they were in the conference finals afterwards. I don't even know. I'll have to look into that eventually. So, but Williams with his second of the playoffs from Fleury and Vermette. Nicely done, Vermette coming through with a point. And then Skinner from Lindholm and Rask. So we managed to shut down Sidney Crosby, and he did not score a single goal in that series. And we are off to the second round. So now we'll check player stats for both teams, and then we will see who we're up against in the second round. Hopefully it's an easy opponent. It might be Washington, which I would not want to have happen because Washington obviously is just as good as Pittsburgh is, except for they can't get to a Stanley Cup Finals. So, player stats. So, Aho 6 points in 6 games. Skinner 5 goals in 6 games, but he was a -1. It's kind of weird. Teravainen 4 points, Staal 4 points, Williams 3 points, Wingels and Kruger 3 points, Lindholm and Fleury 3 points, McGinn 2 points, Falk, Stempniak and Rask 2 points, Pesce, Vermette. Pretty much everybody picked up points except for Trevor Van Riemsdyk. And Slavin and Van Riemsdyk were a -7 actually. Ugh, that's not good. Maybe I should change that defensive pairing. Or the bottom 6 is like the -1s. That's good that mostly everybody had points. And then Peter Mrazek 4-1-1 with a .921 save percentage, a 2.3 goals against average, and 1 shutout. So definitely a big piece to coming to this team. Glad I picked him up, and we will probably re-sign him in the offseason. Pittsburgh, let's just see. Crosby had 1 goal. Oh, he had 1 goal. I didn't even remember him scoring, but okay. He had 5 points in 6 games, so he actually was in the series a lot, but he didn't get his team to win, so that's good. At least we didn't have him score that often. 5 assists, but 1 goal only in 6 games. Okay, so now let's see who we are up against in the second round of the playoffs. Hopefully we could beat whoever it is. Too bad Edmonton got eliminated in the first round. It would have been funny to have a rematch of 2006. But like 10 years afterwards, or 12 years afterwards, you could say. Come on. This is so slow going through the calendar, something like this. I should just go advanced it. Scouting assignment. So what we were doing, I think we were scouting forwards and goalies. Must have scouted. Yeah, I'm going to scout forwards here now for 3 weeks. Okay, so we are up against, once it loads, the Philadelphia Flyers. Interesting. Philadelphia actually made the playoffs. So Philadelphia is another one of these teams that don't have a lot of experience, because the last time they would have went really far in the playoffs was 2010-11, or no, in 2009-10 actually, yeah, when they went against Chicago. Yeah, I could see with their team, they have really bad wingers just like the Pittsburgh Penguins, but their center core is where they're really strong. So Simmons, Giroux, and Voracek, really nice first line here. Power forward, playmaker, and another playmaker apparently. Then second line, you got Raffle with Couturier and Reed. So as you can see, Couturier is a really nice second line center, but the wingers are really weak. Same with the third line here. You got Lawton, Filppula, and Weiss. Filppula is a really good centerman as well. So it might be a battle of who could actually win face-offs and stuff like that. And in the fourth line, Laterra, Konechny. I don't know if he's even going to grow being on that fourth line. And Nolan Patrick, who might not grow as well because he's playing on his fourth line, even though he's a third liner. And defense is weak as shit too. This might be like the EHE's team that comes and beats us, because I think we have them beaten in terms of depth, especially on defense, because Gostisbehere and Provorov are obviously going to be really good defensemen in a couple of years. But Gudis, Manning, Sanheim, and McDonald are extremely weak. And then in terms of goaltending is also kind of cheesy. You got Elliott and Neuwirth, but their goaltending actually is better than ours, because Mrazek's an 83 and our backup is Ward at an 81. Scratch, they have Robert Hagg and Jordan Wheels. So I could see us actually being able to beat this team. It just it comes down to who could win face-offs, I think. Because like you look at their center core, and then can I go to our center core from here? Or can I? No, I can't. Our center core is pretty much similar. I'll show you guys our lines again. Because we got guys that could win face-offs. Like Vermette's a really good face-off man. That's partly why I brought him in. Yeah, so we have some guys that could win face-offs as well. So I think, yeah, they got us beat obviously in the center core position, but on the wing we have them beat, and then we have them beat defensively. And then goaltending is tied kind of, except for the backup. So anyways, guys, I think that is going to do it for this episode of our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So next episode we will take on the Philadelphia Flyers in round number 2 and see if we could get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.